Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 501. It is Saturday, January 24th, 2026, and I'm glad you could join me today. It's a beautiful day. I'm probably gonna go out in the sweater. Get my errands done. But yeah, there was a 1 week delay in podcasting because I forgot that the in-laws were visiting. So, and they take over this room. So, it's also entertaining to see how mighty the fiber pile is in the background. So, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, no, the stash isn't fitting great in the shelf right now. But would it be? I suppose we can do first things first. My Cinetop is done. Would it be? I'm like, I still do need to block it, and the weather we're having here right now is like perfect blocking weather. So it is the case where I am wondering if some whatever. I don't know if I'm just like hunching. It's like, do I have bad posture? Do I have knitter's posture? I don't know. But so all complete. What would it be? I don't even know where I was. I don't even know what happened 3 weeks ago. um, so I don't even know what happened 3 weeks ago. It's fine. It's fine. So, at least we'll just recount what we think went down. So it would be the case where, like, I added at least 3 inches of length to the sweater. And so as a result, would it be like that meant that it was farther along my body, and then that also meant like the critical dimension moved from, or whatever, like moved from being my full bust circumference to would it be my full butt circumference. So we ended up deciding the best way was to add a split hem. And it's a little bit, it's maybe rolling a little bit right now, but I just integrated, like I just knit it into both sides. So integrated that way, just continued the 2x1 ribbing from below to make it flow. And so that would better integrate what was going on there. So, and then I had matching ribbing, and due to a convenient quirk in the number of rows, it turned out that pink was the next color on both sides, so I decided to just do all of the trim in pink, which I think is really cute. I probably didn't have enough teal to do all the trim in that anyways, so it was fine. So at this point, all ends are woven in. There might be one sneaky guy, one sneaky very little tail sticking up on one end, but not too crazy. And then I did it. I didn't run out of teal. Even though by math I probably should have. So I did end up getting like a decent amount used up when I ended up doing all the trim in pink. So now I think I have a little bit more navy left than the other ones. So I'll weigh these, I'll weigh the sweater. We'll get at least a rough estimate of how much yarn ended up getting used. So Cinetop by Life is Cozy or Ksenia Nadeon. that I knit out of Studio Donegal Darny that I got at Wild and Woolly in London. So, yay. And now, what is it? I can put the rest of the stuff away. But like, obviously this was probably the most darling combination of yarn, project, and accessories. I am not this darling. I am not this cutesy most of the time. Would it be? And then what still needs to get done, which I don't know whether or not it will, is documenting the changes that I ended up doing. And then it'll also be interesting to see how my schematic ended up turning out. But yeah, I added 48 stitches to the cast on. So whatever, we'll stick that one very dog-eared page into my knitting pattern thing and whatever. So it would be the case where like it's definitely nice to have the designer at your knit group to be like, so and then able to whatever get the finishing all nicely done in time. So but definitely the case where I spent like quite a bit of time like counting, like needed to like sort of like roughly speaking figure out where I wanted the split to be and then make sure that I had that marked on all four of the spots so that it was the same number of stitches. And then what I ended up doing was knit the sleeves, then did the 3 needle bind up from the bottom so that I could weave more tail into the armpit area. And then I did the um, ribbing out of the split seam to finish. I decided not to continue the color pattern, and I think that's fine. Like, I think having different trim is okay. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if, or whatever, it'd be the case for right now, like it is like a finished edge on both top and bottom. So I don't know how I would have felt if that ended up being a contrasting color or not. I think I think it's still pretty cute. So I've already worn it to knit night. I've already worn it to the office. I still have to block it, so it's fine. And then it would be the case where I would probably, or would it be? I'll have to figure out what I want to do with the blocking of it. Um, so it's fine. Would it be like it doesn't like it's plenty long. It's plenty long. So no worries there. Um, would it be? It was like, could I make it wider? Maybe. Am I just gonna leave it the way or whatever? Well, I'm whatever. It's probably the case where I need to measure all the dimensions unblocked, then block it and see if it changed that much. That's all. Um, so would it be? It was only like I think both of the things about the sweater quantities that I ended up picking up in London was that they definitely were not superwash merino. So there's definitely like there's definitely like at least a little bit of prickle with this one that I didn't notice when I was at knit night, but maybe did notice a little bit more after like wearing it for a day in the office. So, um, not gonna stop me from wearing either of them. Um, but yeah, no, I've been getting like a lot of sweater wear in the past couple of weeks, so that's been pretty awesome. So, um, not gonna complain about that at all. Um, so the other thing that I am wrapping up as we speak is I have, and this took so much knitting time, or so much knitting time since the last time we spoke. Um, so these are the lizard fingerless mitts, or fingerless gloves, um, that I am trying to fix one last time. Um, and so the conclusion was that the fingers need to be entirely ripped out, entirely reknit. Um, the position of the fingers rotated a little bit to make the gloves actually handed. So the way I knit them originally, the thumb is centered up on the index finger, and now it is rolled in to a certain extent. So this one is left glove. Um, and so the fingers are now Vulmisa. Um, I'm assuming Vulmisa twin. Um, but I am, since I'm knitting from a long tail right now, is so it was the case where I finished them all up, and then it was like, the thumb is loose. And then it was like, and the two thumbs are slightly different sizes. Um, so it would be the case where three of the fingers are 24 stitches. The pinky is 20, and I think the thumb worked out to be like 28. But I had one thumb that was 36 and the other one. See, that doesn't even make sense. I don't know. Thumbs are the same. So I don't think they're both. I don't think this one is 24, but I have like 130 and one. That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it'd have to be a multiple of four. But so, yeah, this one is. This one must be 28 now. So, would it be? And I just ended up basically doing like a quick decrease there. So, was the gusset a little too big? Maybe, but I wasn't going to rip that back. um, so the tessellation pattern is from Maurice, um, from the Op Art sock book, and then I just translated it so that it could be on a pair of mitts. I believe that these are the 00 needles or the 000 needles, whatever. So I'm knitting the fingering weight on here pretty tight. The black and blue in the body of this mitt is fiber optic merino cashmere silk, and it turns out that's not tough enough for my spouse. So that's fine. So things are a little bit different now. It'll probably take a little bit of wear to sort of undo the 6-year crease from having them be a certain way. My spouse would like it if I knit the middle finger longer, but um, I don't want to damage the integrity of the yarn by doing that. So what I was able to do this week was I woven all of the ends on these fingers, and then I'm um, making a smaller thumb, and then I will finish weaving the ends on this one, and then I will redo the thumb on this one as well. So, or yeah, you can totally see. It's like I definitely have like a groove in them. And then my hypothesis is that the reason why um, the other part of this wasn't really wearing out is because it was sort of protected by the floats. So, so we're gonna let that. So, I wasn't able to finish that this week. I didn't really feel like delaying a day to get that done. um, Last night was one of those nights where I felt more like just chilling. But that one is like super, whatever, super close. And then we can give them back to my spouse after I wash it, which maybe I will combine washing of the sweater with the washing of the mitts. That would be smart. So, the other thing that's going on is would be I am swatching for a new sweater cast on. So in English, it is called Nightfall. um, so it is by Skin Deer Knits. It is intended to be knit with a 6 skein gradient. So I picked up my gradient at Stitches West 2020, which we all have concluded was uh, the last good Stitches. um, Whatever, make a joke. It's fine. Um, and I was doing like a good thorough swatch on this before I started, and like, nice, huh? So I have practiced the yoke pattern. I have done the snow. I have done the fading between the colors. So I would actually, what I find interesting, because I was thinking that this color was going to be the most jarring transition, but no. So it would be the case where that one is probably the least smooth, but I'm not too worried about it. So I have like a foresty green. I have this peppermint color. Um, and then I have two slightly darker pastel shades of teal, and then I go into sort of like a true teal, a dark teal from there. Um, so like would it be like it would be the case where this one might be like a little bit more gray, but I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. And then the sweater has so the gradient go from light to dark, and then at least at the top we have this separate dark to light gradient that's going on, but there's like enough contrast here, so not too worried about it. Um, would it be? Should should there? And it's also very interesting because this like little like whatever like this light seafoam color here looks so white when you put it with the other teals. So I started this swatch flat and then decided that I should just do it all in the round because this will be my first steek sweater. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to practice. Oh, I didn't actually leave room to steek on this, so I'll probably just rip it out and roll the balls back in. Um, So this is also called scumbering, I believe. I don't, yeah. So, but Nightfall is also pretty easy as well. Nightfall is a little bit easier. So, last I checked, which I probably can check again, but last I checked, I was spot on engaged with 3mm needles, so now I just have to pull out a set of US2s um, in order to cast on the ribbing for this guy. And then ripping out the swatch, but I did want to get like a daytime picture and show it on the podcast because this will be fun. But yeah, it is the case where I definitely liked how the color work looked a lot better um, when I was just in the round. So we will go with that. So I won't be putting away my 3mm needles. But very exciting to have a new cast on. Um, and whatever. Like it's not like this little tube was a whole lot of knitting, so not too worried. Um, it is like very pleasant to knit with this yarn. Like, but it too is not butterflies and rainbows. um, oh, but there are other choices I need to make before I can cast on. So it would be. But it is funny because like it definitely uh like like this yarn feels really nice to knit with. Like it feels good to knit. Um the finished fabric and the ball of yarn be like, would it be? It's like there definitely is like a little bit of tooth to it. It's probably toothier than the Studio Donegal for sure. But this this is going to be act more like a coat in the end, so it was like whatever, this is going to be a cardigan. I'm going to be probably wearing it over a t-shirt, so as opposed to like this tank which I am wearing over like a cami. So there's that at the very least. But like it feels good to knit. um so I don't know if I was planning on going a little bit further or that was just as far as I felt like going. I've decided um not to swatch the tree pattern for the time being. Um we'll just leave that be for now. So that just means I need to um decide what size I'd like to make it. And then I'm just trying to think if uh you know, am I going to decide that information based on like another um cardigan-y sort of sweater in my stash already, or am I going to do something different? So I do still have some decisions to make on this, but at the very least, it was like this is this is going to be the look of the sweater. I think the gradient is pretty cool. This was my impossible task of the Stitches Market, was to find a woolen spun 6-color gradient. So, and what would it be? I think we have like a couple of different varieties, but yeah, so this is phenol garn, and then we have um, whatever, so this is Rauma phenol garn or PT2. So, not too crazy. 100% Norse wool. So, this is hanging out in this massive bag. Sort of slightly unwieldy, but it's fine. So, would it be? So, I'll have to decide size. All of the sizes are in centimeters, so it's fine. I was like, my ruler has metric too. It's fine. But yeah, so what I'm wondering about is like if I want the fit of that sweater to be more like my Delancey, which I think that's what it needs to be. Um, but I can also like check it up against my water bearer as well. So that, or would it be? Or I'll look at the two numbers for that. I knit. Yeah, I'm not sure whether or not which one I'd want more, but like it's probably somewhere around those two at least. As you do. But yeah, like I think it definitely needs to be a cardigan. So we'll get that figured out. And then it has like a couple of different times when it has like top of yoke short rows as well as bottom of yoke short rows. So I thought that was a nice feature as well. Okay. So the other thing that is going on is that I did have a chance to go through the finishing of my sweater spin. So last time I might have shown you guys my two skeins unwashed, so they have been washed and dried. I finally counted them this morning, and so all I have to do now is measure them quickly somehow. Um, obvious, whatever. I don't think I have any tape measure. Oh, wait, we do. I didn't bring my normal knitting stuff with me, so I sit in a room full of knitting stuff. So this one ended up being 441 reps. I was debating if I wanted to reskein it or not, but I'm starting to feel like I don't want to reskein it. Oh no. Like, how'd that work out? So this is 64 inches, which is less than 72. So that one is 64. This one was 337. Oh, it seems a lot smaller, but whatever. We'll see. Does it shrink an equivalent amount? And we might be off by a little bit, but not too bad. Well, it's gonna come in pretty close. Yeah, basically the same. So that would mean, let's rotating around here. So in terms of shrinkage, so it was 72, and we divide by 64. And so it would be the case where it's not too bad in shrinkage. That's saying it's like 88. And then so 88%. And then what we're going to do is multiply that by 441 plus 337 times 2. Okay, so this is saying that I have 1,383 yards in 20 ounces. Which if we divide by 5, okay, so that's saying it's like 276 yards per 4, roughly. So that would mean that we are not worsted. So we're like in like that DK to sport. Is that true? So sport would be like 300 and DK would be like 250. So we're like right between sport and DK. Not that we ever thought, not that we ever thought, though that might be for 100 grams, so whatever. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's like the light end of DK, the heavy end of sport yarn, so like I think the phenol is supposed to be approximately that, so like oh, this one is probably a little bit of a shapeshifter, so it's definitely thicker than that, but maybe the phenol is, I don't know, does phenol count as a fingering? Let's see what their yarn stats are. 175 meters and 50 grams. But this is a 2-ply. It'd be like, so I might be getting messed up with the meters versus yards conversion there, so that's fine. It's just that one's just a little bit. That one's just a little bit of a shift. So continue doing math. Yeah. So that one's would be we're yeah. So not too crazy. So it is not 5-ply fingering yarn. um, but it is yeah, and there definitely are like places of this where it definitely does seem like it is pretty plump, but there are also other places that are quite thin, which I'm surprised that there would end up being the variation there, but maybe that was just how. Because you figure if you had a 5-ply, you averaged it out quite a bit. But there definitely are some places that are more thick and others that are more thin, so it probably means I have to treat it more like a sport weight anyways. Um, I would say uh, this is definitely softer than the Studio Donegal and the Phenol. Um, like it is, yeah, and yeah, no, I guess that is interesting how that worked out. Mostly the mohair ends up just sort of coming across as like occasional bright bright spots in the yarn itself, so not too crazy. And then it's definitely calmed down quite a bit in terms of post bath, so it is nice balanced. Um, so now that we know what weight we're working with, we can possibly figure out a pattern, but I don't know, this does make me feel like I had a counting issue though. But I guess, like, is there 100 more in this one? I don't know. I might rescan it anyways. Just because I'm not trusting my counting. But yeah, so not too crazy. So all finished. So because of the visit, I haven't started a new spinning project. But I think the idea there would be to start working through my rainbow project, at least for a little while. Though that is a 700-gram knitting project. Or a 700-gram spinning project, so, like, roughly speaking. I'm probably gonna have to do all of my math over again. Yeah, it's 24 ounces. Whatever. It's fine. We'll just laugh about it right now. So, let it be. But at the very least, each part of it should be pretty small. So I'm not expecting quite the epic. Um, so that shouldn't be too crazy. So first set of hats are made. I will probably, I don't know, the next one I'll probably do is the more marginal one. um, the one that may not turn out to be the color. Yeah, I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna break in to my rainbow to do that one, so it's okay. So, um, so I will work on the teal bats. When I finish spinning those, I'll make my yellow colored one because that I think is probably the most marginal of the colors. And go from there. So hopefully it'll be my goal is to my goal would be to spin it thicker. And then I don't know what my knitting goal would be for it. It's mostly just to use up fiber so that it is more compact. um so but I don't think it will be a 3-year epic like that other one. So it's fine. Um but yeah, I probably need to change over my spinning wheel so that it's back on the regular flyer again. And go from there. So, some calculations are required in order to get everything rolling. And then the other thing that needs to happen is I need to um, pick a skein of Woolmisa to knit socks for my grandpa. So that will be probably the project that ends up moving into that will probably be the project that ends up moving into my bag here once the gloves are all wrapped up again. So I'll have to decide on a color. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'll have to decide on a color. And then they will probably end up being like pretty straightforward, regular old rib socks. So that shouldn't be too crazy. It's just a matter of which color I want to do them out of. Unless I just want to pick a different yarn, that is also a possibility. It was like, they might be slightly easier to destroy, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal. So, and that is the case where I need to quickly make a decision on which knitting retreat I want to go to. It's looking like my summer is going to be challenging summer. Normally it's a pretty chill time, but um, my next project is starting in a weird. My next work project is starting a weird point in the sequence. So, as you do, um, so I might end up doing a knitting retreat in March. So we will see how all that comes together. Um, so I think whatever more calculations are required. Anything else? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happened. the last 3 weeks. um, but that's okay. It was like finishing things, starting new things. It's all good. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So, take care, guys. Bye bye.